got away, and Charlie sailed a more median middle course across closer to the rum line. Let's say that was the passport to his victory. But in the meantime, in third place just now, Jeremy Bayou is still about 400 miles behind. He'll be expected to finish tomorrow, around about just over 24 hours behind. So that really is an emphatic first and second for Charlie and for Boris. And really, Boris sailed a fantastic race. So this really will establish him as one of the favourites. Remember, in the last Vendee Globe, he finished 5th. Coming back into the channel, I think he had very mixed emotions. He was very much in contention then. Coming in from the south of the Bay of Biscay, everyone who follows Boris and the Vendee Globe knows what happens next. He was certainly a contender for the podium at that point, and unfortunately hit the fishing boat and still managed to come in, saved his boat and got in 5th place, gaining a little bit of time recompense for his help in the search for Kevin Escoffier in the Southern Ocean. So Boris now is one of the, if not probably the most experienced IMOCA sailor in the 28 boat fleet. Remember, he did the most of the ocean race, and has probably done more miles on Malizia Sea Explorer since he launched the boat in 2022. First race for the new boat was the Route de Rome, very much a shakedown cruise, or a shakedown race I should say, very much trying to find the what makes the boat go and try and get it reliable. And really from then on it's been up and up and up. You have to reflect that Boris has gone from regular kind of 5th, 6th, 7ths in the IMOCA races now to be a serious contender, as he's just proven on these last 2 races. I think that's partly attributable to is the time he spent in the south with this boat, this VPLP design, which is very much orientated to racing in the Southern Ocean, downwind in the big conditions. And that's really what he saw in the as he passed through the top of the high pressure. That was about playing to the strengths of the boat. I think he probably kind of knew that if he followed Charlie, he would struggle to pass him, and so he played a measured risk going up to the north. He told us at the time that he spent a long time looking at the weather routing and all the weather information before he went, trusting his instincts a little bit. And it was a very nervous time for him up when he was up at the top of the high pressure system. I think it was around about 36 hours, very light, difficult conditions, nervous times, though all the time fairly serene and enjoying the experience, but all the time wondering when the wind was going to kick in. So Boris will come straight into the channel. I think that's been his key thing, really. We're expecting him a little bit earlier in the afternoon, but he didn't want to come in. The channel, of course, only has enough water from 4 o'clock. The tide coming in allows there to be enough water in the channel. So it's really about precision timing for Boris this afternoon. So there's Boris on deck on the Militia Sea Explorer, looking relaxed and ready for this passage into the channel. Total relief, I think, probably as much as anything, is main emotion. Just waiting for, quite breezy, just getting the mainsail down. So relief probably as much the primary emotion for him just now. He will enjoy the passage into the channel. So not quite as many boats out as we normally see for a Vendee globe finish, but certainly Charlie Dallin had quite a number of people on the sea walls on both sides of the channel. So Boris there with his technical team on board. Stu McLaughlin there, the technical manager in the red salopettes. So it's been a long time away between the two transatlantics. He'll be keen to get in, back in, reunited with his family, his daughter, and his little dog Lily, who's rarely without when he's at home in Europe. Celebrated his 43rd birthday, did Boris, on the eve of the departure. And he's pretty much been in the lead or there or thereabouts. He's shared the lead with Charlie pretty much since the start. Both, or certainly Boris in particular, stayed in the north of the group coming out of the start. Remember, the start was 90 miles offshore of New York. Boris looked after himself well, I think, on the way out. And he had enough energy to deal with the difficult conditions then. Remember that he had this situation with this low pressure trough always causing them problems, but at the same time they had the Gulf Stream, which upset the winds in terms of the temperature, upsetting the wind, and also the positive current flowing with them when it was light, and it really reduced the apparent wind. It really caused many problems for the other skippers, but Boris and Charlie in particular dealt with it. It's a beautiful afternoon, great time to be coming into Les Sables d'Olonne, with getting towards the end of the afternoon. So Boris waving to his fans. He's many fans around the world. Militians at home in Germany, in Monaco, and the Yacht Club de Monaco. Big shout out to everyone in Hamburg, and I believe that Boris has got a Militia bar in Hamburg, but also the Yacht Club of Monaco have been the supporters for the project since the very beginning. Pierre Casaraghi, of course, started with the program with Boris. They ran a GC32 initially, and then moved into Mocha. So this boat is very different to the other Mochas in the fleet. So very much orientated to the Big South, the downwind conditions there, and obviously proven itself already in the ocean race, winning the long leg from Cape Town to Itajaí. Here we are inside then. Give you a real good impression of what living is like and sailing. Boris does, and the team do most of the sailing inside. He has this little almost aft cabin. You can see just behind, that's the living space. And that really will be the key in the Vendee Globe, I'm sure. It has been when times have been tough on the transatlantics, and for sure in the early part of the TJV last year when it was going across Biscay. And Boris was pretty quick, and also it's all about minimizing the discomfort rather than maximizing comfort, I would say. That is very much what the life is like inside these boats, and it's going to be a big part of the ability to perform on the Vendee Globe. So I think just getting the mainsail down. Just sorting themselves out, and say sure there will be some big crowds out in this Sunday afternoon. Quick look there from the top of La Chaume. So Boris, 10 days, 20 hours, 52 minutes and 32 seconds. Very respectable. Pretty much kind of a little bit or almost equidistant between the first and third. But that fast downhill shoes from the higher latitudes really was also a good test for Boris and the boat. I'm certainly sure that he will go into the Vendee Globe probably with more confidence in his boat than anyone else in the fleet, having put it through so much, considering how some teams have struggled with damage over this race and the last few races. Such a reminder of how a small damage can really compromise your whole round the world race. You can't afford to have a bowsprit break or a foil damage at any point in the race, particularly with a maximum capacity fleet. This is going to be a fabulous, fascinating Vendee Globe coming up. So many good teams putting in so much in the way of resources. Including, of course, this team, German team, are based out of Germany, but also supported by the Yacht Club of Monaco. So just taking it easy, getting the sails down, tidying up. So starting to make his way towards the channel, full technical team on board. So of course this will be Boris's first time back into the channel since the Vendee Globe back in January 2021. Didn't do the Vendee Arctic race because his boat was still in build then, back in 2022. First race, as said, for this boat was the Route de Rhum. Well, actually, he did the Defi Azimuth the first race when he got a third place in that. Obviously, a very short race by comparison with the Route de Rhum, but the 24th in that Route de Rhum. Pretty disappointed. He had some fairly serious technical problems on that race, and really it was all about getting down to the finish line. But after that, a big winter refit before the ocean race. A refit after the ocean race, and his new foils on for this race, or for the Transat and this race, and that's certainly made a difference to the performance of the boat. I think beautiful, iconic skyline. You have to reflect that this race goes from New York and one of the most iconic skylines in the world to Les Sables d'Olonne, which is one of the most recognizable skylines in world sailing. Just the approaches to the channel. Hopefully we may have Dee Kafari with us. Dee, can you hear us?
I can, Andy, thank you. Just
look at that.
Now as Boris arrives.
Finally, the miracles of technology. Anyway, your thoughts on Boris's race? I mean, he's a measure of relief, I think, coming through the finish line. Now's the time to enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's been a tough race for everybody involved, but Boris really had to make an early decision, and one that set him out on his own. And he had even admitted on one of the interviews he did that he was uncomfortable sailing for so long on his own. But the wry smile a few days ago when he was looking at the routing coming in, when he got through that high pressure ridge and got that downwind conditions into the finish line, you could tell he was pretty confident a podium position was his. So it's great timing for him to finish this race in second place.
But you kind of reflect, you know, I think certainly was emphasized for me when we were watching Boris at that point, how much life is just governed by the numbers, the routes, just constantly looking at the weather, constantly looking at the routes. It's such a very different sport now, isn't it?
Very much so, and you've got to be so confident in your decision making. And he left it as late as he possibly could, but he even said if he had another 24 hours, he probably would have made a slightly different decision, and it would have been more similar to Charlie Dallin. But he was comfortable with his decision. I think we're really seeing Boris come from the crude racing and the double-handed racing that we've seen the last few years to being comfortable with his boat solo setup now. You know, he's very relaxed when he's sailing. He doesn't get stressed, but he's quite methodical and sensible. And I think it's all really coming together for us to see a really strong performance later on in the year when he goes away from Les Sables d'Olonne, unlike he's doing now where he's sailing into the finish.
Indeed, and if we reflect on how Boris was on the last Vendee Globe, he kind of struggled with the loneliness in a lot of senses. I think he's much more confident in himself, and I think he'll go into this race with more confidence in the boat, and I think that will really bolster his mental approach.
I think so. I think he's definitely not a skipper to hide the fact that he struggles in that solo environment. It's not something he's comfortable in, and he really enjoyed the team environment of the ocean race that they took part in, and he'd really liked that camaraderie, that support, that network. But now I think he's learning about himself because he's super confident in the boat. He absolutely knows how to make that boat go. The modification to the foils is definitely helping it with an all-round performance. So now it's just his head in the game that he needs to worry about. And I think these last two races now, back-to-back podium places, really should give him the confidence to go forwards to this year. I mean, we saw such an exciting Vendée Globe from him in the last edition that we're expecting a great result, but actually he goes into it without a pressure on his shoulders because he's such a relaxed character. He kind of secretly goes about it behind the scenes and then suddenly pops up near the podium at the finish, which is great to see and a nice way to be.
Yeah, I remember him saying almost admitting in the last Vendée Globe, because it was very much about sailing kind of high daily averages rather than pushing at 100%. He sailed round at kind of 90%, knowing that it was about the long game. And he was almost surprised, I think, when he came into the across the equator and found himself really in contention to win. And I think he struggled emotionally at that point, and were that to happen again in the next race, then he's much better equipped.
He is, but I think he's also got an expectation of his abilities and the
Yeah.
boat's abilities to actually realise that he can push a little harder.
So what about this? And he's built this team. It's a very strong, kind of almost family-like team environment, isn't it?
Definitely. The Militians are a very strong bond. They extend quite globally with a massive fan base. And I think because they're such an international team, everyone's just embracing them. And it's nice to see somebody having fun doing what they're doing with a team around them that are just loving being there. It's like it's not all work and no play. There's definitely a good balance in this team.
That's right. And Stu McLaughlin, they're the technical director, I think. He's been around the scene for a long, long time, and a great sounding board.
Well, I remember him when he was working on a boat for the Barcelona World Race back in
That's right.
2010. So he's definitely been involved with these boats through many iterations, and he's seen the confidence in this boat grow. So he'll be very excited about its potential for the end of the year.
But I was saying at the beginning of our broadcast that you tend to overlook Boris's experience, how many times he's been around the world, how many different classes he's sailed, and he was going round in class 40 in I think 2008, 2009, did his first round the world race, and round in the Barcelona World Race, done the Ocean Race, and of course the Vendee Globe. Not many skippers in this fleet now have done as many miles around the world.
Exactly. And he's such a humble person with it that he doesn't kind of push his CV on anybody. And let's not forget, he was part of the crew for some incredible, strange trips that he's done, whether it's going up north in the Russian waters or even a Jules Verne and navigating that. So he's got so much experience, and I think we often underestimate him because we talk of other big names. That's why he slips under the radar and then keeps popping up on the podium, which is just fabulous to see.
It is indeed just taking his own little video, I think, perhaps. But the other person who I think is probably she's doing really well in this race, but we tend to forget how many miles she's done. Probably second in terms of miles and experience is Sam Davis.
Oh, absolutely. She is just flying this year. If you're going to peak, this is the year to peak on a Vendée Globe year. Podium place on the way west, and now coming east, she's having a really strong performance. But what I think is really noticeable with Sam Davis at the moment is how much she's enjoying her boat and the sailing. I think she's overcome a lot of obstacles in the last couple of years, and she's found her happy place again. And when she's happy at sea, it performs.
Indeed, I think they'll be in plus 24 hours just now. We're looking at Jeremy Bayou coming in probably in third, but that little cluster, that little group are having a great race. Sam's in the match with Johan Richomme just now, winner of the race outwards.
I know, and this has been an incredible race to follow, just because that north-south split has been over 1,000 miles, and it's so unusual for us to see such complete different options. And then the challenges that the southern group faced, very different weather to the northern group, and then those that kind of ended up in the middle because they're a little bit slower and got different weather again. I think everyone's found the weather very challenging. They haven't always seen what was forecast or what was on their computer screens when they looked outside. But to have such close racing in all the pockets, but then to see Boris with the conviction he had to go as far as he did, everyone got confused if he actually knew where the finish line was. But he had the plan and he executed it. And even Charlie was looking over his shoulder yesterday.
He said that, didn't he? Charlie said last night when he came in, he just had a few nervous moments in the last 24 hours looking at the speeds. Boris was doing 25, 26 knots at times coming from that northerly latitudes. Interesting how his routing actually changed at one point. Well, in fact, Charlie said at one point that he saw his routing going east of Ireland, and at one point we were also querying whether Boris would go leave the Fastnet Rock to port or starboard, and the routing actually moved significantly to the west again, and that's when the threat was re-established for against Charlie.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and from when he took that decision to take that northern route to the days where it all became a little more aligned, it's hard to make that decision so early and then stick to your convictions and then not have to bail out and try and claw stuff back. So,
That was the
this
thing,
has
wasn't it?
been a
There
really
was no bailing
interesting.
out, was there?
No, I mean, he had to commit. If he'd gone that far, he just needed to stay there. And fair play to him. He had nerves of steel doing that.
Yeah, I think he did, but I think he did have some few nervous moments. He was giving us a little bit of jip for suggesting that he'd gambled, but I think it was a fairly carefully computed gamble, and it's good
Yeah, he
to
made
see
the
that he's.
choice, but you're right. It was a big risk, massive risk, but sometimes the risks pay off. I think for most people, they would have preferred to have been in the company of others, so they can take this race as the opportunity to see how your boat performs against the others. And that's what he missed out on. But actually, he did that on the race over to New York, and now coming back, he's had that opportunity to kind of make those tactical decisions that he's going to have to make at the end of the year on the big one.
Indeed, I don't think we'd ever see on the Vendee course, that kind of opportunity to split so far apart. So I think we'll look forward to the race and see how that plays out. But what's it like coming back into the Channel D? You've done it in the 2008, 2009 Vendee Globe. It's a very, very special place in world sailing.
Absolutely. You talked about New York having a magnificent, recognizable skyline, and actually Les Sables d'Olonne being quite a visual, special place for the sailing world. And this channel now that Boris is entering is a phenomenal place to be. The emotions you feel in this channel just by the volume of support of people that come out and cheer this sailing on is, you just don't get that anywhere else. I think you can have all your Olympic medals you like, but there's nothing that beats Les Sables d'Olonne for a welcome or a send off if you're going sailing around the world.
So hopefully we're going to pick up on the audio. Boris is doing his first interviews with our media team. I'm informed reliably that he's going to do French and English, but Boris, the true internationalist, he speaks obviously German, French, English, and Spanish. He does his sustainability, his environmental program is so global as well. Let's hear if we can hear Boris.
Félicitations d'abord à Charlie, quelle belle course pour lui. Et moi j'ai eu la chance de faire beaucoup de portants et une belle expérience traînant. Donc c'était une très belle course et une arrivée dimanche après-midi avec le soleil et beaucoup de monde ici sur la digue, c'est magnifique. Donc, merci à tout le monde au Sables d'Olonne qui est venu.
Thank you everybody for being here.
And in English, please. No.
I'm super happy with the race, arriving second. Congrats to Charlie. What a fantastic race for him. And I had the privilege to do a lot of downwind sailing and a crazy experience far north, almost in Greenland. And I couldn't have a better arrival than being here today with sunshine on a Sunday afternoon. Lots of people in Les Sables d'Olonne. So very happy about the race.
Merci.
So there we go. This is the time to savor the time to enjoy it. And of course, he's this big star in Germany. I think in the end, towards the end of the Vendee Globe, he was on the national news every night. And that really was the launching pad to elevate his program and build this new boat day.
Yeah, but rightly so. If you think about how his race had evolved from the pictures in his woolly jumpers in the Southern Ocean, you know, very content with just pottering along. And there he was challenging for a podium place before disaster struck literally in the final hours. I mean, it had us all on the edge of our seats. It was a Vendée Globe with a difference in the last edition. And I'm absolutely sure that this next edition will have its same twists. But there's, you know, Boris is definitely a name to watch for being on that podium. We know anything can happen, but he's really showing now. He's consistent in his performance. The boat can definitely perform, and now Boris has the confidence in himself now, which is, I think, a key mental step up for his game for the end of the year.
Indeed, getting the German flag out. So Germany really needed an ocean racing hero of its own, and Boris has delivered in that department. A real household name at home, and huge fan base, as we noticed, I have to say. No criticism, but the live for the arrival of the outbound race, most of the followers online were from Germany. So a big shout out for everybody, all German fans, the German Militians watching this. Big following in the national media at home in Germany. It's a lovely summer
Boris has
resort.
also been
Go on, Dee.
Boris has also been a massive inspiration to German sailing. There's a lot of new names coming through into the Figaro, into the offshore world. And it's all literally kind of been from the last few years of Boris being so dominant in his sailing and growing his presence in the sailing world. And the fact that, as you say, he's so international, he's so amicable to so many nations. You know, I think that's a real credit to him, how German offshore sailing is really taking off.
So as Boris comes into the channel, I think we've got a second guest. Hopefully, we should be hearing Chris Pratt, I hope, from Marseille. I'm Militian from Marseille. Chris, how are you?
Quite fine in you, Andy. It's a sunny day
Not too
in
bad.
Barcelona.
Yeah, sunny day in Marseille, is it?
Not at all. I was stuck in like an enormous storm just on the motorway, so that's why I'm a bit late. Sorry.
Oh dear. Anyway, talk to us about Boris and this performance as a Militian. What does this mean for his team?
Yeah, it means a lot. It's amazing the double performance because he's second on the way to New York and second also on the way back with two completely different races. And Dee said it really well. I mean, the first one was really about staying in the pack and then showing how good Malidia is doing well in downwind and wavy condition. And this one was about strategy and also, being very tactical and focus on the way to sail through this front. And he did it really well. And what I like also is his way to go on the North Path because it was really not gambling because at first, one day or 2 days before the start, we had routing going this way, and this was clearly an option with a longer route, but an option, and he did it really well. He was a bit scared at the moment to be alone and stay stuck in the high pressure, but finally it's moved. High pressure moves quite well for him, and he did it really well. And each time you're downwind with this boat, it's just crazy because it's so easy, so fast. I didn't sail with the new foils, but I think it's also another big improvement. So no, I mean it's crazy with for him, for the team, and I think now he's really one of the favorite for the Vendée Globe with this boat and also with the confidence he had now with his two transatlantic and with major result at the end. So I mean, a big bravo to him and to the team. And I think now he just got to to take rest before the Vendée Globe, and Pifu, which is on the board with him, and which I used to work with him a lot on Charles sailing team, is going to take care of the boat, and I'm sure the boat's going to be completely perfect and ready for the start of the Vendée.
Just talk to us, Chris, a little bit about that weather situation then with the talweg, as you call it in French, this trough. Just explain for our viewers who maybe don't know ocean racing as well as some people do.
Yeah.
What was the situation there? Because it was like a hurdle that was moving with them, a water jump that they had to get through and get away from, whereas the rest of the fleet just continued to stay in it.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that it will be hard to go through this Talweg, this front, but I think we minimize the effect of the cloud, the storm, and the changing condition in the front, and so and also they take. It was a bit slower than the routing on the first part, and so they were a bit late on the routing, and it was really hard to go through this front. And to be honest, I was not really connected when they go through it. But the thing I think what Boris and Charlie did really well was to have a really perpendicular route from the front, just after passing it, and being as fast as possible to the west, and so they did it, but also it's a bit of, I don't know if it's luck, but it's just 2 miles away, and you go with the front, and 2 miles on the other side, and you stay stuck. So I mean, for sure they did it really well, but maybe also they got a bit of I don't know how you call this in English, G, but réussite is like, it's not like luck, it's just you created your own luck. But
That's it.
so yeah,
That's indeed the case. But I think Charlie was saying that he was alongside Nico Lundven, only a couple of miles apart, and
yeah,
Charlie escaped, and Nico didn't, and that was not anything to do with Nico's problems with his bowsprit or anything. It was just in the position and pressing the accelerator at the right time. He
exactly,
knew that he knew what was happening behind him, and he managed to run away
exactly.
from it. So great moments for Boris.
Exactly, and I think the other important point is about the strategy of Boris, is because when he go through the front first, I think he was so scared to be catch up again, that he chose to go as fast as possible. So it means reaching, and a bit lower than the reaching, and so that's why he finally go also on this north route, because then after it was really hard for him to go back on a medium route or on a south route. So it's also the way that he goes through the front that makes him decide, I think, to go on this north route, which was clearly an option, but like Dee said, a risky option, because a really long route far away from the autonomy.
Indeed, D, beautiful moments for Boris then. Sunday afternoon on La Chaume, these lovely little cafes and bars that we like to enjoy from time to time when we get to come here in the summer. But a great vantage point.
Yeah, for everybody, the fact that number one and number two has arrived on a Sunday where they've been out and about, nobody's had to go to work and miss out. So they will be loving this. This is like just a little warm up for what's coming later in the year, because we know how good the locals are at welcoming sailors in from races and giving them the right send off. And here we are on a Sunday afternoon of a transatlantic race, and you can hear the volume of the people, see the number of people spectating. I think it's great.
It is indeed. I mean, it's beautiful to see Les Sables d'Olonne in the summer. As I was saying at the start of the broadcast, it's really a very nice summer resort. More and more visitors coming here in the summer due to the profile that it gets from the Vendée and other big sailing races.
That's right. I mean, we fall in love with it in November and through the winter when we're dealing with the Vendée Globe and the isolated beaches. But to actually see those beaches come into their own right in the sunshine is lovely to see. We don't often get that at the end of the year. So it's really nice to see Les Sables d'Olonne shown off in all its glory at the start of the summer.
Did Chris, a few words about this boat then? I mean, obviously we've now seen four transatlantics between the end of last year and this year. What's the performance profile of this boat compared to the other designs?
I mean, we all know that the major key, the major talent, if I can say, of this boat is downwind when it's wavy. But what is interesting is with the new foils, is reduce the gap, is reducing the gap in the other condition. I mean, like upwind and reaching on like 12 to 16 knots. And also what we already saw on the ocean race is the boat is going really well in a really light condition, and I think that helped Boris a lot on the first part of the race. You know, he took a really excellent start, and then he stayed in the front of the field of the fleet, even if it was really light. And finally, the boat is a bit heavy, but the hull shape is doing good in the really light wind. You know, we saw that on the last stage of the ocean race when they were fighting with Biotherm, I guess, for the victory in
That's right.
Genova, and they did it really well in a light wind, downwind condition. So I think it's now it's. Usually we used to say that Malaysia is really a boat for heavy condition, but I think now he's got more card on his game, and he really can do well in all the condition. Maybe not as good upwind than Charal or Massif, but finally he's in a good level for this type for the other condition, and he's clearly a really easy boat to sail when it's rough, when it's wavy, when it's downwind with huge waves, and it's gonna make a huge gap. I don't know if you remember the faces of Rosie, Nico, Boris, and Will after the long stage in the Southern Ocean on the ocean race. They were I mean they were not they were tired for sure, but nothing compared to Holcim crew or Biotherm crew. So I think this way that Boris think this boat, I mean by building a boat for the Southern Ocean, being able to do everything inside the boat, and improving the comfort, and they also done more improvement this winter with this new seat on the cockpit, and also this new place to do the navigation. And so now he's really comfortable in the boat. He can sail completely inside, and he's not wasting any energy when it's hard and when it's wavy. So I think it's a really good boat now, and he clearly showed that that he makes the good choices like 4 years ago with choosing this type of boat. I mean, everybody was a bit I mean,
skeptical, I think.
I mean, not yeah, skeptical. You're right. When we saw the boat, and we all called the bus because you know it's huge, and yes, the bus, Malaysia bus, and so we all said, oh no, it's too big, it's too heavy, etc. But finally, we almost win the ocean race with this boat, and now I think he's leading the 24 World Championship. No?
Yeah, I think
because
so.
he has 2 second place, so he's clearly leading the championship, and I think he is really a major favorite for the Vendee. So congrats to him, and congrats to his choice. I mean, it's really nice to work with him because, like Dee said, it's an humble guy, and he's listening a lot. The other people around him, he's trusting his team, but also he's trusting himself and his own choice. And so, no, it was really fantastic for me to work with them in the Austrian race. And even if I didn't sail with Boris, we got a particular relation, and I know he likes. I mean, calling me just to speak and speaking about the strategy and the decision he's gonna make for the project and for the next ocean race for the Vendée Globe. And so it's always cool to have a chat with him. So I can't wait to have a chat with him after the race and for a quick debrief.
Indeed, Chris. But Dee, as Chris is saying, the ergonomics, the level of the minimizing the level of discomfort as opposed to comfort is going to be so important on this long race.
For sure, and we're hearing all the time as the speeds increase, as the activator and earlier in the wind strengths and on more points of sail, these boats are really stressful. You know, the noise and the motion thing is about protecting the sailor, and there's that balance. You know, he is relaxed and comfortable, and then able to look after themselves by eating and sleep. You can make much better informed decisions, and I think we're really seeing that with Boris. He's super relaxed, but he's always in a position that looks comfortable. He's in his chair or he's in the cockpit, and he's not like kind of fighting against the motion of the boat. It's all happening together now, and I think that's allowing him to concentrate on what's important at the right time. And I think Charlie Dallin spoke about this. He speaks about the ergonomics of a boat a lot when he's talking about new ideas and design concepts. And people like different things, but I think what we found here is Boris has got a boat that is comfortable, allows him to perform at his best, and we're seeing that all come together now with 2 second places. I'm grinning for him. I just think it's all coming together at the right time. Really good confidence boost for him.
Indeed, it's like the Olympics. It's all about peaking, getting yourself into the medal zone at the right time.
Absolutely, it's 4-year cycle of a Vendée Globe, so very similar.
It's great, as we said, just to reflect on being able to watch Boris's development over the years and elevate himself to be a contender for the upcoming Vendée Globe. Approaching the Vendée Globe dock now then in the heart of Port Olona, taking his place behind Massif Santé Prévoyance. Sure, Charlie will be on the dock to greet him.
I think Charlie will be on the dock. He usually always
right
on the
there.
dock for the arrival of the other concurrent. So for sure he will be. And no, it's really a lot of emotion for everyone to see him there. And you're completely right. Now he's standing as a really big favorite. Oh yes, I just wanna add something maybe about his preparation. I think what he's really good at is also to be able to take rest. You know, he's got full confidence in the team for the boat and the commercial, etc. So it allows him to go back with his family and take rest and being as fresh as possible when it comes to a race start. So it's also important to know that.
He spends as much time as he can back home in Hamburg, and only comes to Lorient for the periods when he needs to be there. So he's got a young family.
And also you need to take rest, because it's this kind of project and this kind of boat spend a lot of energy, and so being able to it makes me think about Armel Leclerc. Armel Leclerc is also really good at it. You know, when he's on the boat, he's really focused and he's training like Rafael Nadal when he's training with the tennis ball. And but when he's out and he spends time with his family, with his friend, and when he's back with the team and on the boat, he's ready.
So there we go then, Ivo Vendee, the president of the Vendee region, the SAM Vendee and the Vendee Globe, figurehead for the race. We'll be seeing a lot of him over the course of the Vendee Globe, both before and after. Hubert Lemonnier there, just in the fleeces, the race director.
On te laisse à bord et tu vas pouvoir descendre. Allez, vas-y. Pour l'instant, ici, non? Ah, bah oui, faut faire exploser ça. Ici, sur le public.
The champagne moment, D.
Tu as vu que le...
He's practiced that a few times now, so he's getting good at it. He was even relaxed popping the champagne.
You can almost reflect on their different characteristics as they pop the champagne. It was interesting to watch Charlie doing it this morning, very careful, very measured, and then sprayed it everywhere. And Boris much the same. I certainly don't want to spray over the president.
Boris, tu as vu que les Vendéens étaient là pour t'accueillir, pardon. Ils étaient très très nombreux. Allez, viens avec nous.
It's coming down off the boat.
Super. Tu as vu que les Vendéens étaient là pour t'accueillir. Ah ben voilà. Félicitations.
Bravo.
Super cool, c'est bravo.
Et comment ça toi?
Deux beaux champions. Voilà, merci.
Two champions, says Monsieur Vendee. Guess you can do the translations.
Différentes. Il a fallu un moment de temps faire des choix.
C'est ça. Bon, il a pas trop
Yeah, they are talking about the options.
On peut plus fermer ça.
On serre, la serre.
Ouais, la serre, ça marche bien.
Ça va, avec les vitres. Avec les vitres, ça chauffe à l'intérieur.
Charlie
On a
asked
mis le t-shirt
too cold.
la nuit, il caillait, mais le midi, c'était avec le soleil.
He set in his pullers, he had his fleeces, he was okay.
Je me disais que c'est pour mettre ton beau pull en laine du sud de l'Ocean Race.
Ça, je vais amener aussi.
Je me suis dit que c'était pour ça que tu voulais vraiment utiliser. Bon, c'est cool en tout cas, bravo. Deuxième, c'est pas mal, non?
Oui, le classement général, c'est bon.
Trying the fleeces.
Deux fois deuxième sur les deux
Yeah,
fois.
they're speaking about the
Et nous,
general
on est
ranking
très
on
fiers qu'il y ait un Français en premier, et voilà, de l'international. Ouais, mais ça aurait pu être le contraire aussi, mais enfin, en tous les cas, là, l'international, c'est la course. Vraiment bravo.
Non, c'est cool.
Et encore félicitations, très content.
Mr. Rovene saying how international the race is.
Deuxième.
Fastnet. Non, mais la première grande victoire sur une transat.
Merci Boris.
Ouais, très joli.
Non, c'est cool. Bah, bien, bravo à toi et ton équipe aussi. Ça est deux deuxième places là, c'est bien. Vous devez être content aussi.
They congratulate
Il n'y avait
both
pas
leads.
trop de problème, donc ouais. Ça donne une bonne confiance pour la suite. Pour l'été. Repos maintenant.
Pour le petit événement de fin d'année quoi.
Un tout petit événement. Ouais, si vous avez 5 minutes, revenez donc au Sable d'Olonne vers la mi-octobre, ça va être bien.
Il paraît qu'il se passe quelque chose.
Il pourrait se passer quelque chose, les Vendéens seront là. Voilà.
Ouais, super.
En tous les cas, merci pour l'accueil magnifique. Oui. Vu un petit peu
Thank you for the welcome. It's magnificent.
Yeah, thanks for the welcome. I love the sound.
Beautiful, as I say, Sunday afternoon. Welcome on the Pontoon d'Honneur. We've just seen so many great victories in the history of the Vendee Globe.
Can we just have one picture of the two of you for the TV, please?
Ouais, carrément.
Thank you.
I wish I was in the Sables because I think they're gonna have a fantastic
Big
party
party
tonight. Like Malidia knows how to do this. So I think every member of the team is there. So it's gonna be a fantastic party tonight, I guess.
I spoke with Will Harrison. He's on his way. He was at a wedding in London. I think he's trying to get there. Missed the finish line, but he's going to be there in time for the party, I'm pretty sure. key part of the
I
Militsia
think
team.
it did, yeah. And I just heard that Boris was saying to Charlie that he hesitates a lot about the option, so I think they're kind of debriefing now.
But of course, they train against each other at Port La Forêt, don't they? Boris is part of the program there.
Yeah, I think from what I heard from Pifu's technical director, they're gonna be back at sea out of the shed middle of August. So I think they plan some training with all the Port La Forêt members like Jérémy Bayou, Thomas Rian, Charlie Dalin, Johan Richaume. So for sure it means that they can have a last adjustment on the sails, on the configuration, on the sail set, on the foil set to be completely ready. But now most of the job is done, and so all they got to do is to be sure that the boat is in shape and verify all the systems. And take rest for Boris and start to work on the routing, on the forecast, and just be ready for November. But the big part of the job is behind them now. So this is a team.
You see
fantastic.
Sorry, go on, Chris.
No. Fantastic crew team, and look, Malizia party is gonna start now with the beers already there, and so everybody's there, and Mary, which is the community manager, and they've got a commercial team, and it's almost the same team that we used to have in the ocean race. This is Hélène, chief of the commercial team, and you have Corentin also, which is a really important guy on the technical side, and he's also a really important guy on for the ambience during the party and social living of the team. So I mean, yes, it's really the same team. Then maybe we can hear Boris.
Oui, beaucoup de plaisir et genre c'est spectaculaire le nombre des gens qui viennent ici. C'est dimanche après-midi, mais c'est quand même super l'enthousiasme pour la voile. Donc merci aux gens ici de venir voir, fêter ce score. Ça existe qu'au Sable de l'Or.
Raconte-nous un peu ta semaine. Tu es passé par des pics émotionnels, j'imagine, assez forts.
Oui, j'ai eu des petits moments de doute de mon choix osé là, mais en même temps j'ai réalisé que c'était de toute façon trop tard de douter, donc il fallait y aller et croire, et heureusement ça s'est assez bien passé. Je suis content avec le résultat, j'ai pas attendu beaucoup plus que ça, j'ai pas fait le choix pour battre Charlie, j'ai juste que...
I didn't make the choice to beat Charlie. I just made this choice because I thought it was the best route. I just lost the sound now though, but I think that's...
No, that's fine, but I think that's a key thing, isn't it? Because in terms of suggesting that he was gambling to beat Charlie, then that was our contention at the time, and he was saying that he just wanted to follow the route for the performance.
Profiter de la machine, et aussi les nouveaux foils ça aide, et les voiles sont un peu
he enjoyed the ride downwind, and he said that the new foils are
je connais mieux le bateau, je l'apprécie aussi de plus en plus. Je me sens bien à bord, donc le package est bien mené.
I'm feeling really well and confident in the boat now.
Oui, je le crois, oui.
Est-ce qu'on peut faire la même chose en anglais, d'abord sur tes émotions?
Oui.
Oh, it's going to translate it, so it's going to be easy
Tell us about
for everyone to
feelings.
understand.
You can translate it to French.
After the
Oh no, sorry,
Yeah,
please.
it's beautiful to see how many people come here to celebrate sailing in Les Sables de l'Or. I think it's unique in the world that you have so many people just coming out, and it's a beautiful day for it. It's Sunday afternoon, sunny, and so it's such a fantastic welcome, and yeah.
2 podiums in 2 races. You become a big player for the next Vendee Globe.
Yeah, I just don't put too much pressure on myself. I don't want to speak about these things too much, but what I really want is a reliable boat, and so big congrats to the team because we didn't have any problems on this race and on the previous race. So 2 races with no problems. That's a great achievement in terms of technical excellence, technological excellence, and preparation of the boat.
And tell us about the start in New York, and now we are in France, in Les Sables.
What do you mean?
Well, big city, and here you have La Mecque for sailing.
Yeah, New York was of course a fantastic place to race to and to start again from, to come back. So we have really enjoyed the city. We have met amazing people that we're also going to work together with in the future, I think, with our ecological projects and campaigns. And so great memories from New York that I took at sea, and then now coming to the Mecca of sailing in France, and where it feels a bit home in this part of Western France, and I'm glad to be here.
La même chose en allemand.
Now we're going to do some German. D, you can do that.
Made a strategic move that caught everyone's attention.
Oh dear, well, so long as he's consistent in his conversation, I can tell you that he's just going to say the same
I
thing.
went a bit.
That's the
we
great
had this
thing
front
is
that
we know
needed
is
to
we can do
escape
the
from
3
it. I wasn't
languages.
quite sure if there's still a risk that the front could catch us, so I was a bit.
You're just talking about still, obviously still in English. You're just talking about the front and the risk of the front catching him.
As far away from the front as possible. So that brought me in this different position for when we made the big strategic choice that from that moment on I thought the north route would be better for me. And this decision, but then I kept the decision. I went on, and when I was, then a few days later I was in it, and I couldn't change anyway the decision.
Did you doubt about that option?
I doubted a little bit at some stage because it just looked crazy on the chart, but scientifically I think it was correct. It was also from when I took the decision, it was a shorter route, because the route that looks more direct for Charlie, it has a lot of zigzag as well. So and at some stages the routing in the north had me beat Charlie, or had me go much more on a direct route around the high pressure, and where now I needed to do all these jibes. And at some of the models the wind was just 10 degrees turned, but that's enough to go on a direct route, and then I would have gained probably almost a day.
Did you feel stronger by the fact that you succeeded? I mean, do you feel better now after this?
I think I really like to have done a choice on my own, and I could have, of course, just kind of tagged and go behind Charlie, be like 100 miles behind and then follow. But I think for everyone it would have been a less exciting race, myself included. Also, I was keen to sail downwind more and to experience the north with the transitions. So I was, at the end, happy with my decision.
And would you have made such a bold choice in the Vendee, or was it this the race to just try it?
I think it's also this race to try. I mean, maybe in the Vendee you would manage risk a little bit differently. Hard to say.
And how did the past 2 races prepare you for the Vendee? Was one more about speed, the other one about strategy, or maybe gaining confidence? What was it?
I think both races were great preparation for the Vendee. The race to New York was good because I was a lot close to the boat, a lot in contact, so I could see that my speed was quite okay most of the time. And then on the way back, I was very alone in the north, which is a feeling that can happen in the Vendee Globe, where sometimes you end up really alone with no boats around for hundreds of miles. So I could train a little bit, remember this feeling. It's not so easy sometimes, and could remember, okay, this is probably what the Vendee Globe could feel like, and prepare for that.
Sorry. In what conditions is the boat and the skipper?
Yeah, boat and skipper are in good conditions. We had very little technical problems, almost none. And I'm especially happy that my mainsail held together, because that has already done the ocean race and 3 transatlantic races. So this has served very well, and no problems at all.
And what's up next? Are you looking forward to the Vendee and how will you prepare?
La carène marche bien, hein? Merci, merci.
So last English question, are you looking forward to the Vendee Globe and how will you prepare for the next year?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Vendee. In this race, we achieved what I was hoping for, to have confidence, to be quiet in the summer, to not doubt our choices. And so now we just service the boat a little bit, leave everything as it is, and then take the start of the Vendee.
En allemand.
En allemand.
En allemand, il y avait un beau drapeau. Fais voir. Voilà, fais un bisou. Voilà. Ouais. C'est super.
Ouais.
So very comprehensive replies there from Boris D.
Yeah, and I think it reiterated what we were second guessing for his arrival, about the confidence in the boat, the confidence in himself, and actually having that experience of sailing on his own and sticking to a strategy and having confidence in his decision making. So, and I think that's great. And now we're in that perfect position now where the team has confidence in what they did to prepare the boats, so they're now confident going towards the end of the year. Boris can spend the summer a little more relaxed and just focus on the things he needs to do. We know that's always peppered with his sustainability work with his sponsors as well. But it all leads really well to, the great kind of preparation for the end of the year without being stressed or rushed or distracted in any way. So I think this is, couldn't have gone better, and a really nice way. We've just seen there, he's done the same interview in 3 languages, and just how international it is becoming. It's been a slow process because it's so French dominated, understandably, but now we're seeing international skippers on the podium and have the ability to do multiple languages, and so we're kind of opening up our sport to a much wider audience, which I think is such a positive thing.
Indeed, of course, on the outwards transat, we had 2 international skippers out of 3. And it's quite similar in terms of the numbers coming back. Some young talent coming through as well. Looking at James Harayada, for example, 26 years old, putting together 2 really solid transats.
That's right, we've got a depth in the international aspect of the IMOCA class. We've got a depth in age and experience, and James and Violette are 2 classic examples, and they seem to be joined at the hip in all the races that they do so far, so that's quite entertaining. But also that gender disparity is slowly changing, and we're seeing some really good, strong performances with Sam Davis on the podium. We've got Justine Mintro always in the mix, and Pip is in the top 10 as we speak today. So there's some really strong performances coming through, which is just generally opening up the sport. We're not just tracking one person anymore. There's 10 contenders, and we know anything.
As you say, in terms of internationalization, we've got obviously Kotiro Shiraishi, our Japanese skipper, moving into his second Vendee Globe, one of the most experienced skippers in terms of miles, actually. We were talking about Boris earlier on, but Koji's done many miles, but also Jackie, our Chinese skipper, just in the early stages of learning the IMOCA, relatively low budget, but he's an incredible character.
Well, an incredible character and doing really well on this race. He's in with everybody, nobody's left behind. So it really is kind of giving those new skippers the confidence that they need to build. Scott Shoyer's one of those as well, the Canadian skipper, just having confidence sailing on his own in this arena at this level, and having confidence of making decisions and making it happen and executing on the water.
But I think that's been one of the great things about this race. I mean, obviously, Scott looking towards the 2028 race. Now, he had a pretty challenging, shall we say, opening the Transat Jacques Vabre. I think he had a little point after that when he retired with Nick Maloney early in the race, and I think there was some introspection, wondering whether this really was for him. But he's worked hard, he's got himself into good shape, and he's really enjoying this race. He's in the mix, and another nationality personality
kann ich
back
jetzt
in
auch richtig Regatta sehen.
the
Freust du
Imoca
dich auf die Vendee Globe?
family, as it were.
Verbesserungen oder Herausforderungen?
Yes,
Yeah,
and I
ich freue mich
think
sehr auf die
you know
Vendee
it really
Globe.
shows
Ich habe so viel
strength of
Platz in diesem Schiff
character,
im
which
Vergleich
is
zu
a
anderen Schiffen.
characteristic you
Ich
need
glaube,
for a
das macht
Vendée
einen riesen
Globe
Unterschied. Ich kann
or
wirklich
any
ein bisschen
solo
hin und her
sailing.
laufen
But to
zwischen
go
meinen beiden
through a
Kabinen.
Transat Jacques Vabre
Und
where
mir
plagued with
fällt nicht so sehr die
seasickness
Decke
and a
auf den
little
Kopf
bit
wie im
fearful of
vorherigen
some of the conditions,
Mini-Windschiff. Und
and
viele der anderen
has,
Schiffe sind
as
auch
you
sehr,
say,
sehr klein.
worked at
Und ich
it,
glaube,
been
für diese
based out
lange
of
Zeit, 80
Portugal,
Tage
training
alleine
with
draußen,
Nick
wird
Maloney,
das mir
helping
in großen
and
Teilen
coaching, but getting used to the uncomfortable, making the uncomfortable comfortable again, and progressing and building confidence and managing your expectation. And now we're seeing it all come to light in his performance across the Atlantic. So it really is developing the new young sailors, so the Violets and the Jameses, and then the older sailors coming into this where it's still a new experience for them. And transatlantic is a great way to do it. It's just not too long, but long enough to be scary enough.
Indeed. Here you go. Boris's elapsed time 10 days, 20 hours, 52 minutes, and 32 seconds. The race record was 9 days and 16 hours set in 2016. The only edition of this race sailed so far, won by Jérémy Bayou. Obviously, the 4-year quadrennial that this race should have followed was upset by the global pandemic.
It's really interesting because those times aren't record times at all. You know, this race is taking everybody a bit longer than they anticipated. So there'll be a few hungry people arriving as the pontoons fill up over the next couple of days. But you know, those times aren't quick. So if we get the right weather on one of these editions, we should be in for some new records.
We would. I mean, the thing that also always strikes you, I mean, it's evident here on the pontoons for this race as they are for the Vendée Globe. This race is for everyone, isn't it? It's not about sailing fans. These are everyday people from all around France and locals, families. And some of them are, as you can say, Boris fans. It's fantastic to see, isn't it? This is as much what it's all about as the high-tech foils and the locking in your sail designs for the Vendée Globe.
There's technical advancement and there's the boats, and you know, they're awesome machines that can do phenomenal speeds now. But what makes Imoca special is it's personality led as well. These are fans of Boris, you know, they're fans of the sailor, and they don't necessarily always understand all the technical aspects of the sailing that he's just done, but they are fans of him as a sports personality, and that's something our sport's been lacking for a while, and we're definitely growing our characters a little more. And I think media coverage, social media, this all helps. I mean, we commented when Boris was coming in that he was doing selfies and videoing stuff. You know, he's learned along the way that he's got to deliver that side of things and open up a little more about life on board when he's there on his own. And it all helps. It all helps grow the fan base, spread the word, and gets people interested in our sailing adventures.
It's obviously later afternoon. I mean, you don't know what the normal Sunday procedures are of the life in Les Sables alone, but there's a few more looking for Boris's autograph and quick chat as he goes in than when Charlie was at 9 o'clock this morning, but that may be just the simple function of it's later in the day and there's more people up and about. But
They've had the afternoon on the beach and now they're on the dock.
That's it. So, Chris, for you, who have the other outstanding performers been on over the two transats? We might have lost Chris, I think. But do ask you the same question? I mean, one skipper is great to see going well is Sebastian Simon, I think, in 5th place just now. Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Yes, Sebastian is doing a pretty good race. I think he was a bit frustrated about the way to New York on the Transat CIC, and on this one it was really in the group and be able to sail with Thomas and Jeremy. So I think it's going to be really important for him to finish this race in like 5 or 6 place and show that he can be in the leading pack. But no, I'm a bit frustrated with for Nico Lundven because he shows really good strength on the combat CAC before breaking those streets, and he was almost leading the peak also with Charlie and Boris in this one, and again those street issues. So, for sure, he's gonna be a major guy to follow on the Vendee, but I think it's a lot of frustration for him to not being able to compete really on those two transatlantic. Same for your term with Paul Meillat, which I think is really able to perform and to be on the leading pack and in the top 3. So I think we both, maybe we can forget them a bit, but for sure they're gonna be in the leading pack during the Vendee Globe. And then we've got the big 4, which is like Thomas, Sam, Jeremy, and Johan. I think they're really doing well, and they are able to go fast in every kind of condition, and for sure during 10 days. So I think they learn a lot on their boat and how to set up the foil, etc. So I think maybe it's not the performance they would have to they would imagine like for Thomas or Jeremy, but finally I think they learn a lot. Maybe I don't know if we want to hear Boris on the podium.
I think we
stage.
do. I think we're with Maxim Cogny, who's the local journalist and presenter, and we should have this is a public moment when he speaks to the crowd.
Okay.
Take it away, Chris.
Okay, I do the translation again.
Of course, every day is a school day on the Vendee Globe.
No, and just to finish, but maybe Dee can say a word about it, because I'm completely I'm so happy about the performance of Sam, and so happy that we have so many girls on the top 10. And Justine, Pip, Sam, they are all just amazing. They are sailing so well, and I mean, we are talking about diversity, about mixity, but finally we don't have quota, we don't have any special thing to develop this in the Omacro fleet, and we have these fantastic athletes, and they are leading the pack, and they are fighting with the leaders. And so I mean it's just a big inspiration for the little girl who just stopped sailing and then can imagine 20 years later fighting for winning the Vendee Globe. So and in the same category. So I think it's like the only sport maybe with the mechanic sport where girls
definitely.
and boys are on the same starting line. So and they did it so well. So no, I love Sam, and I love the way she sailed, the way she loves to be at sea. I think for sure that the person I know who loved the most being on her boat. So I'm really happy for her, but also really impressed by the level of Sam, Justine, Pip, and so I think Dee was really important in the inspiration of all these women. So maybe she can react about that, but just.
And she's not finished yet. She's going round the world again.
Yeah, there's life in the old dog yet.
Yeah.
And we're not getting the audio from Boris on stage.
But I think you're right. It's just maybe telling about the race to the public, and so it's really important for the public to have maybe little chat with him, and he's really keen to discuss with everyone. Is really I mean, it's impressive how relaxed he is at the start of each race, and how able he is to interact with the public, with the sponsors, with everyone. And so I mean, it's a lot of inspiration for me. The way he managed the team and his own time during those special moments. And I'm really sure he's really tired, but he's able to be disponible, to be okay with speaking with everyone. So impressive.
Indeed, we're trying to listen to the president of the region. This is such an important part of the region's public face. It's such a big thing for the locals, and it's a very political thing as well, isn't it?
It is, but this whole region. This whole region and Les Sables d'Olonne is synonymous with offshore sailing. It's got such a strong history, and every 4 years we see an amazing event. And the fact that they've stayed so committed for so long, I mean, it's really put them on the map. It's put them not only on the sailing map, but it's put them on a global map of everybody knows various locations in France, but they will all know where Les Sables d'Olonne and the Vendee region is. Which goes to show the strength and the power of this commitment to sailing that they have.
So I think we're just finishing up, and there you go, closing titles, and I think we should be off. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you, Dee.
Thank you, Chris.
It was a little bit bumpy to start with, but we got there.